Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Corner Walk with the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp. Come with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And this evening, I want to touch on this article that one of the brothers had put in the chat, right? And this is why I titled the lesson, The Keepers of the House Shall Tremble, man. Right? Because this is what we're seeing, right? They already know that the downfall of the US dollar is upon us, man. Right? The downfall of this current economic system, this current economic structure, right? And it's all prophecy, and it's also all been what's the word? Uh pre-planned, man. Right? All these things have been set in motion purposefully, right? And to issue in the the MOTB system, man, this digital dollar, right? Now, this is off of watcherguru.com, and it reads, BRICS, Bank of America issues warning of a US dollar collapse, right? Because they have to find a way to force the masses into accepting this digital currency, man, right? Because we already have what Fed coin is out there, World coin is out there, the various digital currencies, right, that are ultimately going to lead you to need that MOTB, right? Now let's continue on. It reads, the U.S. national debt is now growing by $1 trillion every 100 days. That's crazy. Since 2023. The uncontrolled debt could lead to a financial disaster wreaking havoc, but not only in the U.S., but across the world, right? Because the U.S. dollar is the global standard right now, man. Right? That's why you see the BRICS nations, working to develop their own currency, right? Like it says here, it says BRICS and other developing countries are worried that a U.S. dollar debt could make their native economies crash, right? Because the whole world is tied to the use of this dollar, right? That's why it hasn't been replaced. Because in replacing that, as the other Ariella had went into a couple months ago, right, in the destabilization of the U.S. dollar, it's going to destabilize all global economies, man, right? It says other developing countries are worried that the U.S. dollar debt can make their native economies crash. Keeping the US dollar in reserves is now seen as a threat that could undo years of financial stability. Mm. It said the US dollar national debt has now touched a new high of 34.4 trillion, which is barely under control. Elected representatives at Capitol Hill and officials from the Federal Reserve are unable to tame the ever-growing debt because it's going to continue to grow worse and worse, man. Right? It says amid economic turbulence, Bank of America has issued a warning, which Bank of America is the America's leading banking institution, man. Right? It says amid the economic turbulence, Bank of America has issued a warning about a possible U.S. dollar collapse. Moreover, this allows BRICS to spread the de-dollarization narrative across the world. So everybody's going to separate themselves from the American dollar, right? Because of its instability, man. Right? Let me see here. Salaki. It continues on. It says Bank of America warned in the latest piece that the U.S. dollar and economy face a blowout year in 2024. The growing national debt is the main reason why the U.S. economy could be poised to head south, right? And it's the spirit that the Lord gave Apostle Tahar to name the year a hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, because the crash of the economy is going to be tied to Jacob's trouble, man, right? Because the turmoil that's going to lead to, right, in the minds of the people, right, and the ensuing chaos that takes place is a part of the crash of this economic system. It continues on saying the growing national debt is the main reason why the U.S. economy could be poised to head south. The U.S. national debt is rising by 1 trillion every 100 days. Michael Harnett, chief strategist of Bank of America, wrote. Hornet warned that the collapse of the U.S. dollar is imminent, right? So let's look at that word imminent real quick, man. Because we know what it means, but from edification, right? It's just about to happen, right? Let's see what else we got. Impending, at hand, close, near, right? As scriptures tell us, the prophecies are even at the doors, man. Right? It's very near. It says fast approaching, coming, forthcoming, on the way, about to happen upon us, man. Right? Ezekiel 7:5, man. Right? Your end is near. Right? You read in the NLT, it says your final doom is upon you, man. Right? And this economic downturn, this economic collapse is a part of that. Right? We'll grab that. Let's see. It's a lot. Let me go there. This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 5. It reads, thus saith the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. Right? And it's inevitable. Right? Like it says here in the NLT, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way. Right? It's on its way. Right? And it's really here. Right? We're just waiting for the effects to be felt. Right? It says disaster after disaster because this economic collapse is a disaster, man. Right? Much like ancient Rome, right? Because we know that Babylon the Great is just a revival of that ancient Roman Empire. So we understand that those disasters that took place in Rome are about to take place in America, man. Right? And again, that economic collapse is a part of the disasters. The end has come. Verse 6, the end has come. It has finally arrived. Your final doom is waiting, right? So it's imminent, man. Like we read. It's like it reads, Hornet warned that the collapse of the U.S. dollar is imminent if the debt grows out of control this year, right? And it's already out of control, you know. And they have no what's the word? No intentions of quelling this debt, man. Of quelling the the downfall of the dollar, man. That's why you see them just handing out money left and right, right? That's why what's his name, Joe Biden, can tell people so like they're buying a house and you'll get a $10,000 tax credit, right, and things like that. Because they're just trying to dump money, man, right, and to put the lull the people to sleep ultimately. You know, it reads on. This doesn't end well. It's not gonna end well, man. Right, and we know that, like we just read, right? The end is come. Right? It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. Um, it says, this doesn't end well, wrote Genevieve Roach Decker, a former asset manager at the Grit Capital. Also, BRICS is now waiting for a possible U.S. dollar decline and could advance with a new currency in the global market. So this is what we're seeing, man. Right? The collapse of the dollar, man. Right? We're watching the keepers of the house tremble. Right? Those representatives um, from the Bank of America are part of those keepers of the house, man, going into those people who watch the finances, the stock market, the stockbrokers, and things of that nature, man. Right? Let me grab that. Slovakia. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. And it reads, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, right? Because right once the dollar collapses, there's going to be no more work, right? No, the people aren't going to be working for free. They're going to have to accept that new currency, man. Right? That's ultimately what they're going to be forced into. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, right? Because all you're seeing is darkness, man. There's no light at the end of this tunnel. you know, there's no hope for Babylon the Great. There's no hope for America, right? We see, every metric, right, of this economy is getting worse and worse, right? Like I said, every 100 days, it's $1 trillion in debt, man. You know, verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low, right? So, the doors shall be shut, right? Like it says here in the NLT, remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades, man, right? Because there's no more opportunities in America, man. That's why the nations are leaving, man. They come and get their little bit of change, their little bit of dollars, and then they get out of here, man, because the opportunities are gone, right? The work is fading. The dollar is losing its value, and America is losing its charm, or lack thereof, you know. Let's go here. It's a lot. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, because we it may mention in that article of the debt, right? That's upon this place. Salakia. This is, and honestly, we could start at 1. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he shall say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And it's being made plain, which means easily understood, man. Right? Right. All these prophecies that are coming to pass are easily understood. That and a part of this is the downfall of this economy, man. You know, you read in Revelation, it talks about uh, the people will eat their bread with care. Roughly paraphrasing, man. Right? Actually, let me get that. I might as well grab it before I continue on. This is Revelation 6, and I start in 6, and it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, right? That goes into that penny being the Roman denarian, man, right? So that value of the dollar, that value of the currency, right? Much like it was in ancient Rome, uh, is continued deployment, man, right? So you're gonna need a day's wages, for one meal essentially, right? Let's go back. But this is why the keepers of the house are trembling, man. That's why you see these forecasters, right? These what they call stock market experts and brokers, moving in the way they are and trying to give warnings to the people that they are, you know, because they're in fear as well because they see that there's no hope in this place, man. There's no hope in this dollar, bouncing back and regaining its former glory. Let's go back to this. It's Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. It reads, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, right? So these things are going to come to pass, man. Right? We're going to see the downfall of this dollar. We're going to see the economy ultimately collapse, right? We're already in the midst of a recession, which is going to quickly turn into a depression, So all these things, right, were prophesied to happen, you know. Verse 4, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And speaking on Esau, Edom, right? Uh, they're the wicked, right? But the elect, the elect of the house of Israel, right, is going to live by faith and not by sight, right? We're not going to put our trust in this economic system, man. We're not going to put our trust in these dollars, right? Because that's just another aspect of control that Esau ultimately, wants to have upon you, man, which will lead people into, bowing the knee and accepting that implantable device, right? It reads, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire and is as death." It's like who enlargeth his desire is hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, right? Because they spread themselves like a green bay tree, as the scriptures tell us, man, right? He transgresseth by wine, meaning his philosophies, man, his way of life, right, that he pushes upon the nations, right? Like I said, neither keepeth at home because he continues to spread, right? Like the cancer he is. Um, and he can't be satisfied, man. Right? They they need to continually consume, right? Consume resources, consume people, right? And ultimately, they're trying to consume, your souls, man. You know, but garnereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, because they want everyone to be in subjection, right? And part of this system collapsing is to put the masses in subjection. Verse 6: Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? Because this is the Esau Edom's MO, man, right? To build that debt, right? That thick clay, right? Going into that debt. And as we read in the article, right? That debt is growing by $1 trillion every 100 days, man, you know? So that's what every day is growing by pretty much $1 million, man. Every day it's $1 million of debt, adding on right to that. If I'm not mistaken, I think 100, no, 100 billion is a trillion. So uh, no, if I'm not mistaken, it might be 1,000 billions, but still, it's billions of dollars, right? You know, uh, Not to be long-winded, right? It's billions of dollars, a day that are being added to this debt calculator, man, to this debt clock, you know. And that's that debt, that thick clay, as we just read. Let's see here. We're just reading that again. It says, Shall not these take up a parable against him, and be a taunting proverb against him, and saying, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long, right? Because soon it's going to be taken from him, man, right? These other nations are going to take it, and then, ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to come take it from them, right? Right? This whole World War III is going to, you know, pit these nations against Babylon the Great, and ultimately Yahweh Shai is going to come in the midst of that, right? And they're going to try to turn, their attentions to him. But like the scriptures say, they will be defeated without hand, man, right? Let's go to, just going back into the fall of this economy, man. It's like Zephaniah 1 and 10. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, right? Right, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills, right? So that the fall of this economic system, man, right? The great economic downturn, financial ruin is coming upon Babylon the Great in a quick fashion, man, right? And like I said, there should be a cry from the noise of the fish gate, so that those stock market floors, right? Where they see all these things happening first, right? That, that's once they have what's the close of market day or whatever they call it, you're gonna hear, great mourning and great cries, right? Because they know it's over, that fish gate going into the marketplace, man, right? And the great hills, the crashing from the hills, right, going into this government, man. The economy, right, that is built, to keep this place afloat, right? This dollar is the only thing backed by the military might of Babylon the Great, It's the only thing that's keeping this country afloat, right? Let me see here. Let's go to Ezekiel. Go back to that 7, and we'll jump down to 19, right? Because as we see, right, we see in Venezuela, right, we see in other countries, right, the results of the economic collapse, the hyperinflation, right, watching their dollars become worthless, and this is going to be the result. It's Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 19. It reads, "They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord," man. Right? So, like it says in the NLT, they would throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash, because that's what this dollar is, man. These worthless fiat currency, pieces of paper, man. Right? They're not backed by anything except for the fear of Esau Edom, man. The fear of America's so-called might, right? So they're gonna cast this money out like worthless trash, and that's what it's looking like right now. This is what the warning, that the guys from Bank of America are giving the people, man, right? Um, so like they shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. I just reading this in the NLT. They will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. Their silver and gold won't save them on that day of the Lord's anger, man, right? And that's why scriptures say riches profiteth not in the day of wrath. And no amount of resources, no amount of wealth or riches can save you, right? If you're not a part of the elect ultimately, man, right? If you're not on the side of Yahweh Shem Shai. And any man who has heaped unto himself great treasures, typically would not be, in the mindset of serving the Lord, man. They're serving their own bellies. It says, "Their silver and gold won't save them on the day of the Lord's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trip them up." Right? And that snare, that trip, like it says, that stumbling block of their iniquity is going to be people who trusted in this system and heap these riches unto themselves. Right? And that's what the scriptures say. Riches making themselves wings and fly away, roughly paraphrasing, man. So, they trusted in these riches, right? But it's only going to trip them up, right? It's only going to be a stumbling block. It's only going to be another thing for them to fall upon, right? You know, a trap, a snare, right? That's been set before them, man. Um, let's grab that real quick, and then we'll close up. Because the point, right? Just going back to that article, we're watching the downfall of the U.S. dollar, right before our eyes. And like I said, the keepers of the house are trembling right now, man. They're in great fear, right, at the coming collapse. So it says Bank of America issues warning of a U.S. dollar collapse. You know. Now let's get this in Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 2. It reads, "Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death," right? So all of these are treasures of wickedness, man. And that's why the Lord is allowing this place, right, to lose all of its financial stability, man, right? Slowly but surely. And that snowball effect is going to continue, to intensify, man, right? Until it's a total collapse, and they think they're going to be able to establish a new world currency, right? But the Lord is going to destroy that as well, man. Because why? Because it's still treasures of wickedness, man, right? And like it says, it will profit nothing. It's like it. Verse 3, "The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked," man, right? So the wicked, right, all their substance is ultimately going to be done away with, man, right? All the resources, the wealth, right, that they brought to themselves, right? Starting with this American dollar, moving into that global digital currency, and then even going into the actual resources that these global elites have, right, stashed away, right? These things are not going to be able to save them, man, right? And like it says, the Lord casteth away their substance, man, right? So it's all going to be for naught, and the financial ruin that's coming, right? The financial collapse, the dollar collapsing, right? As it's been warned, right? First by the prophets, and then now, you see by these industry insiders, right? This is all the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know. So I pray the lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah Hakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Hey, Kwame Yasharala, we almost home. Shalom.